Welcome, everybody. It's another episode of Black and Gold Weekly. It's John here with episode 35. We've got a lot to talk about today as NHL hockey is getting closer. Boston Bruins regular season hockey is less than a month away. Preseason hockey is just about a week away. And we have the Prospect Challenge. The rookies are playing this weekend up in Buffalo against the Devils and the Sabres. So we're going to have hockey to watch here really, really soon, and that is going to be absolutely awesome. We also have learned the national television schedule for the NHL, which obviously includes the Bruins, is out, and we'll be talking about that in this episode as well. So the two big things I want to talk about are the Prospect Challenge with New Jersey and Buffalo, and the television schedule coming out as well, which is going to be really fun to look at. So before we get into all of that, I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Mark Allred and the entire team at Black and Gold Productions. This show is in partnership with B&G Productions. It would not be happening without them. So big thank you to Mark and everyone there for all the support. And also, of course, I want to mention the 3 links down in the description of the video, as always. If you're in the market for Boston Bruins apparel, NHL apparel, any team, whatever team you want, or NCAA apparel, there are 3 links in the description. The first one is for the Bruins, the second one is for any NHL team, and the third one is for colleges. It would really, really be appreciated if you could check out those links. Wide variety of products, a great selection to choose from. All your normal stuff like shirts and hats and sweatshirts and sweatpants and the usual stuff, jerseys, obviously. They have a really, really wide selection of just other accessory products as well that are really, really cool. So if you're in the market for anything you want team-related, team-branded, whether it's Bruins, any NHL team, any college team, check out those links down in the description, and it would be greatly appreciated. And that's going to bring us now into it. And the first thing I want to talk about is the Prospects Challenge, which is taking place this weekend. The Bruins have sent their rookies up to Buffalo to play. They'll play a couple of games this weekend, one against the Sabres rookies and one against the Devils rookies. And we're going to take a look here at the roster that the Bruins have sent, as well as the schedule, and talk about this a little bit. So obviously, these rookie camps, these rookie challenges did not happen last year because of COVID, so there was no 2020 Prospects Challenge or anything. Those all got canceled, unfortunately. But these have been going on for a number of years now. Pretty much every team has some sort of tournament that they're in against a few other teams. Some of them are pretty big and have like 5 or 6 teams in them. Some of them are just 2 or 3 teams, but most teams send their rookies somewhere to play games in these rookie tournaments, these prospect challenges, and they're really fun to watch. And I've noticed, that a lot of people don't know about these, and that a lot of fans are kind of surprised that they're doing this. And these have been going on for a long time. They're just not widely advertised or really talked about much, and a lot of people don't know about them, but you can watch these games online usually. Almost in years past, at least, almost every single one of these has been live streamed online. And if you check the Bruins Twitter page the day of, they generally drop a live stream link for where you can watch the game. So again, this is something that I've noticed a lot of fans don't know about, but you can watch these games. There's a big prospect tournament with, I think, 5 or 6 teams in it in Traverse City every year. And that tournament's already started, and I watched a game yesterday. I watched the Maple Leafs and the Blue Jackets play yesterday. So these games usually are live streamed and available to watch online, and they happen pretty much every year. They just didn't happen last year, obviously, because of COVID, but they're back this year, and these are really fun to watch the rookies play and just get hockey. For me, the game I watched yesterday was the first live hockey that I watched since the Stanley Cup Finals. So it was really cool to just have hockey on my screens. But we're going to take a look here at the Bruins roster that they have sent, as well as their schedule for when they're playing. So let's take a look. Obviously, there's some guys that you're going to want to watch here and want to see play in game action. So if we scroll down here, we look at their roster. Up front, they have sent Samuel Asselin, Mark Boudreau, Matt Felipe, Jesper Froden, Curtis Hall, Brett Harrison, Jacob Hudson, Jakob Lauko, Fabian Lysell, first-round pick, Ian McKinnon, Oscar Steen, Edwards Tralmox, and Alex Olivier Voyer as their forward group to this. On defense, you have Jack Ashawn, Noah Dory, J.D. Greenway, Brady Lyle, Ryan Mast, Andrew Pesky, and Nick Wolf. And in goal, you've got Kyle Kaiser and Jeremy Brodeur representing the Bruins at this Prospects Challenge. And these guys will be playing against the prospects of the Buffalo Sabres and the New Jersey Devils. There's a few guys on this roster that I am really, really interested to see in this Prospects Challenge, and I want to see what they look like. And the first one for me that stands out is Jakob Lauko. Jakob Lauko is 21 years old. He's obviously a forward, and he's really pushing. I think he is one of the better young prospects for the Boston Bruins, and somebody who is going to be pushing to play NHL games this season and be a call-up if there are guys out of the lineup. He was a third-round pick back in 2018, but he's shown a lot of promise, and I think the big thing for Lauko is just staying healthy, because unfortunately he's missed time with injuries a lot early in his career. But he's a Czech player who's played a lot in U17, U18, U20 tournaments with the Czech national team. He played with the Providence Bruins back in 2019-2020, but unfortunately his season got cut significantly short, just to 22 games in his rookie year. Because of injury. And again, injuries have kind of unfortunately played a role in his career already. But he played 1 year in the Quebec Major Junior League, and he had 41 points in 44 games in 2018-19. Really showed out in junior hockey that year. Was almost a point per game player after coming over from the Czech Republic. And then in his very limited first season in Providence, where he was only playing 22 games, he had 9 points, 24 penalty minutes, a +3. He was very engaged in the game. Unfortunately, just had that injury issue. But then last year, he played 23 games with Providence and showed significant upwards improvement. And really signs of moving forward in his career. He had 19 points in 23 games. He was a +11. He had 28 penalty minutes. He definitely plays with an edge and isn't afraid to get involved in the game physically. And he had 5 goals and 14 assists in 23 games for Providence last year. He's not a guy that's going to be playing in Boston out of training camp or anything like that, but he is a guy that you could see called up later in the year if there are guys out of the lineup for the Bruins with injuries and whatnot. Lauko's a guy that I would love to see what he looks like at the NHL level, and I am really interested to see what he looks like in this Prospects Challenge, because he should be one of the Bruins' best players in these 2 games. He should stand out as one of the Bruins' best players in these 2 games, and I want to see him put a couple goals on the board and really look like he's pushing for that NHL job. Another guy that I am really, really interested in is obviously Fabian Lysell. I mean, their first-round pick from just this past draft. He fell in the draft. I had him ranked number 11 in this draft class, and he fell to the Bruins all the way down at 21. This is a guy I cannot wait to see play in North America. Obviously, a little bit on the smaller side, but we've seen with guys like Brad Marchand in Boston, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. I think when you look around the league, a guy like Braden Point proves that being on the smaller side is not have to be a bad thing if you learn how to use it. So 5'10", 172 pounds. And again, he's only 18 years old. He's going to get bigger. This is, especially once he puts some weight on, I think he's going to push him up towards like 185-ish. And if you're 5'10", 5'11", and 185 pounds, that is fine in the modern NHL. So not too worried about that. He still is just a teenager at 18 years old. And I am really, really excited to see what he looks like playing over here in North America. Last year in Sweden, he played in the SHL. He played 26 games. He had 2 goals and 1 assist. But the thing about playing in the SHL as a young kid like that is that you don't get a lot of playing time. You don't get the power play time. You don't get the big minutes. The SHL is not a developmental league. It's different than playing junior hockey up in Canada or playing in college here in the U.S. These young guys in the SHL are playing in Sweden's top league, and they don't get playing time. They don't get those big minutes, but they're playing among men, and they're playing against the best that Swedish hockey has to offer. So the guy's shown tons of talent, tons of upside potential. I thought he was looking like he's going to be a really good two-way forward in the NHL. He's a really good skater. And if you read his draft analysis here, his skating form is nearly perfect. He has great posture, depth, and flexibility at the ankles, knees, and hips. This guy is an elite skater, and that is something that Boston needs. They need more of that speed game, that agility, that just smooth skating on the ice. He's got great straight line speed and 2-step quickness to burn defenders. Boston needs that in their lineup. Now, he's not going to make the Bruins this year, but I'm talking about down the road. This is a guy who should be a top 6 right wing for them within the next few years, in my opinion. He spots teammates through layers and has touch to get them the puck when the time is right. He scans regularly, reloads to support his defenseman, tracks well through the neutral zone, and his work rate never wanes. And that was something also that I picked up on reading a lot about him before the draft when I was, doing draft analysis on these prospects, was that he's an extremely hard worker. He has a very high motor. He's always giving 100% effort. And again, that fits what Boston wants very, very well. So, he's got high pace and a high skill level, creates a lot of chances for himself and others. He's a highly skilled forward with impressive technical skills. He scores a lot of goals and is a loyal team player. This guy is going to be, I think, a star for the Boston Bruins. And if you have David Pastrnak as your top line right wing and Fabian Lysell as your second line right wing, talking a couple years down the line, I really like where that is headed for the Bruins. So I want to see him play in Providence this year. I want to see him get adjusted to the North American game. And I can't wait to see him in this Prospects Challenge. Because, again, he should be a standout player for the Bruins in this Prospects Challenge. Another guy that is pushing for an NHL job and at least being a call-up is Oscar Steen. He's 23 years old now. He was a 6th-round pick, but he's played well down in Providence. And Steen is a guy that I kind of want to see again. He played in this tournament back the last time they had it in 2019, I believe. And I'm excited to see, now that he's a little bit older, what he's able to do. This is a guy that's played now a couple years with the Providence Bruins and put up some decent numbers, but I really want to see him kind of take that next step. His first year after coming over from Sweden, his last year in Sweden playing in the SHL, he had 37 points in 46 games. Then he comes over to Providence in 2019-2020, and in 60 games he puts up 23 points, which isn't bad for somebody making that adjustment and coming to North America for the first time. And then last year, he played 23 games in Providence. He had 5 goals and 6 assists for 11 points. Kind of want to see him take that next step offensively, but he did get into 3 games for Boston last year. Didn't have any points, but did play in 3 games, and I want to see him really kind of show out in the AHL this year and push to be one of the first call-ups if Boston needs to call a guy up during the year this year. I want to see Steen kind of assert himself into being one of the first guys called up this season, and I'm really excited to see what he looks like in this Prospects Challenge. And finally, the last guy that I'm really going to be looking at is Jack Achon, defenseman. 24 years old. He went to St. Cloud State, and then last year played his first pro season and really played well. I mean, you look at what this guy did in college hockey. As a freshman, he had 21 points in 32 games. As a sophomore, he had 23 points in 40 games. As a junior, he had 34 points in 39 games. And then as a senior, he had 25 points in 33 games at St. Cloud State, and this is a guy that was very consistent and very good in college hockey. And then last year was his first pro season. He played most of the year with Providence in the AHL. He had 19 games played. He had 10 points in those 19 games and was a +5. He also got into 3 games up with Boston. Didn't have any points, but did get into the Bruins lineup last year because of injuries. I'm looking for him to have a huge year in the AHL this year and, again, be on that call-up list for Boston. If they need a defenseman, if they need to bring somebody up, Achon should be probably the top defenseman from Providence that would be getting called up, in my opinion. And I'm really interested to see him in this Prospects Challenge because when you look at the defense, you know, his name stands out with this defense core that they're sending here. His name, he is their number 1 defenseman in this Prospects Challenge. So I'm really looking for him to show out and have a great showing in these 2 games. And a couple other guys that I didn't bring up their Elite Prospects pages, but that I am also definitely looking at and watching these games is Brett Harrison, big time. Brett Harrison, again, drafted this year, 3rd-round pick. Really excited to see him in a Bruins uniform just because I think he fits that Bruins mold of type of player that he is. So I'm really excited to see him. And Curtis Hall is another one, also a center. They're both centers. But Curtis Hall coming in from college hockey, playing in Providence last year, now going to be playing in the Prospects Challenge. Really interested to see what he looks like as well. So looking at this roster, I am really excited for this Prospects Challenge. And I can't wait to see the Bruins players and these young guys get on the ice, play against guys of a similar skill level from other teams, and see what they look like and see how they play. And we'll look at the schedule here quick at when the Bruins are playing. They've got 2 games, both this weekend. They play tomorrow, which is Saturday, September 18th at 3 p.m. against Buffalo's Prospects. And then they play at 1 p.m. on Sunday against New Jersey's Prospects. So both day games this weekend. And both gonna be pretty interesting to see. And with this roster there's definitely some guys that I'm excited to see on the ice. I want to see play in this and really see what they look like against these other guys. And I'm really looking forward to checking out some of these prospects. And I know I'll be watching the game against Buffalo on Saturday. Not sure about the game on Sunday, but definitely going to be watching Saturday when they play Buffalo at 3. So it's going to be fun. And again, I've noticed a lot of fans don't really know about this and know the Prospects Challenge really exists and that they can watch it. So again, there's nothing in this article on NHL.com about where to watch it, but what I've noticed is that they're all live streamed online for the most part, and that if you check the team's Twitter page, an hour or so before the game, they generally drop a link that you can stream the game from, and those are a lot of fun. So it's a chance to watch hockey before you can watch the big club actually back in action. And it's hockey on your screen, which is always a great time. So that's what I've got on the Prospects Challenge and what's happening this weekend with that. And again, super excited about that. Now I want to talk about the Boston Bruins national TV schedule this year, because just yesterday, the NHL, ESPN, TNT, they all dropped the national TV schedule for the entire year, all season long. It's out. Who's playing, what channel, what time, all of that's out with games this year. So we're going to take a look at that as to how it pertains to the Boston Bruins here. And let's see, we're going to take a look at their schedule release. Let me pull this up. Boston Bruins 2021-22 national TV broadcast schedule release. They will play in 13 nationally televised games this year between ESPN and TNT. So that's obviously really, really cool. 13. Obviously, Boston is one of the premier hockey markets in the NHL, and always a big draw as far as national TV games go. They usually get a lot of national TV games. They did back with NBC as well, and they generally do really well for ratings, so it's no surprise. They're also a really good contending team and have been for a number of years now, and honestly, for most of the last 15 years, they've been a playoff level team. They've had a few years here and there where they've dropped off a little bit. I remember back in like 2015, 2016, the drop off. But for the most part, for the past 15 years, they've been a perennial playoff team and a contender for a lot of those years. So it's no surprise that they get this many national TV games. And we'll scroll down here. They point out some of the biggest ones in this article, but I'm just going to look at the whole schedule here, which they've got starting with October 20th. Boston at Philadelphia on TNT at 7:30. That's a Wednesday night game. That is Boston's first nationally televised game of this season. So Boston starts their season on October 16th against Dallas. Not even a full week into their season, they are already on national TV. Wednesday, October 20th against Philadelphia. Friday, October 22nd. So just a couple days later, they're on again at Buffalo. This one is on ESPN Plus and Hulu. So if you have Hulu, you can watch it. If you have ESPN Plus, you can watch it there. And I'm not sure if that is a exclusive national TV game, because ESPN Plus is a streaming service. So I don't know if that's also going to be on NESN as well or not, but they are counting ESPN Plus games as national TV, as national games. So I'm not sure about the exclusivity of that. Anyway, I already have ESPN Plus. I've already got it for this NHL season, because not just the Bruins, but NHL in general is going to be on ESPN Plus a ton this year. It's basically replacing NHL TV. So they're going to have exclusive ESPN Plus games, and then they're also going to have thousands of out-of-market games available, like you would have been able to watch with NHL TV over the past number of years, are now going to be on ESPN Plus. So if you are interested in out-of-market games and just watching hockey in general the way that I am, ESPN Plus is going to be a must-have for this hockey season. So I already have it, but that game's available on ESPN Plus. They don't have a national TV game again until Friday, November 26th, which is actually an afternoon game at 3:30. It's that Black Friday. That's the classic Black Friday game that they do every year. This one against the Rangers in Boston. Also ESPN Plus and Hulu at 3:30 in the afternoon. Then they go another pretty long stretch without a national TV game, but the next one is Thursday, January 6th against Minnesota on ESPN at 7 p.m. So Minnesota comes to town that Thursday night, and Boston, that one will be on ESPN. That is their first game on the actual ESPN channel. So the first two ESPN games are ESPN Plus. This is the actual ESPN channel that they're on. Wednesday, January 12th, they've got a marquee matchup against the Montreal Canadiens, the old hated Habs. Man, is it going to be nice to have that rivalry back this year. Obviously, the Canadian teams were separated from the American teams last year because of COVID, but the divisions are back to normal this year. So we get Toronto again, we get Montreal again, and it's going to be really nice to have those classic rivalries back. And Bruins Canadiens, Wednesday night, January 12th at 7 p.m. will be on TNT. The next night on Thursday, January 13th, they're on ESPN. So TNT on Wednesday, ESPN on Thursday. They're at home against the Philadelphia Flyers. That is also a 7 o'clock game. On Thursday, January 20th, so a week later, they are at home against the Washington Capitals, and that will be on ESPN Plus and Hulu. Wednesday, January 26th, they are at Colorado, and that's going to be a late game on TNT, a 10 p.m. start time. Obviously, that one is in Colorado. And then on obviously the month of February, there's really not many NHL games in the entire month of February at all because of the Olympic break and the All-Star break, both being in February. So nothing nationally televised in February. Then on Thursday, March 3rd, they're on ESPN against Vegas at 9 p.m. So Bruins at the Golden Knights at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Thursday, March 3rd. On Wednesday, March 16th, they're on TNT. Another nationally televised game against the Minnesota Wild. This one at 7:30 p.m. on TNT. And then on Sunday, April 10th, they've got a 1:30 game, so an afternoon matinee against the Washington Capitals on TNT once again. On Tuesday, April 19th, Boston and St. Louis play on ESPN Plus and Hulu. That's a rematch, obviously, of the 2019 Stanley Cup Finals at 8 p.m. And their final nationally televised game of the regular season comes against the New York Rangers on April 23rd on ABC. So they get a true national TV game. ABC, not even a cable channel, but a full network nationally televised game at 3 p.m. against the New York Rangers on a Saturday afternoon. And that will be their final nationally televised game of the regular season. And then obviously, hopefully, they'll be in the playoffs. And obviously, the playoffs are going to be all nationally televised between ABC and TNT. So that is the Bruins national television schedule for this year. Again, I highly recommend getting ESPN Plus if you're a hockey fan, because not only are a lot of games going to be I think exclusively on ESPN Plus and Hulu, but also out-of-market games. You're going to be able to see pretty much all the out-of-market games on ESPN Plus. So that's a huge win for hockey fans if you have ESPN Plus. So I have it. I do recommend getting it if you're going to be watching hockey on a nightly basis. And especially if you're interested in watching other teams as well, not just, the Bruins or whatever your home team is. If you're interested in watching out-of-market games and other teams as well, ESPN Plus is going to be a good thing to have this year. And obviously, the games that are not nationally televised will be on NESN as always. They've got 13 that I think are going to be exclusively nationally televised here between ESPN and TNT. The other games will all be on NESN as usual. So that is Boston's national TV schedule for this year, and obviously they are well represented on national television this year as usual. They always are. Big market contending team. Big ratings draw usually. The networks are all over getting the Bruins on as much as they can. So that's pretty much all I had for you this week for the show. Obviously, the big things I wanted to touch on was this weekend with the Prospects Challenge and then the TV schedule coming out. Some other quick NHL news that just dropped this morning. This had been rumored for a little while now, but officially dropped this morning, is that the 2022 NHL Draft will be taking place in Montreal this coming summer after this season, and it will be July 7th and 8th in Montreal. So that news dropped this morning officially from the NHL. But that's going to do it here for episode 35. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Obviously, greatly appreciated. Once again, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Mark Allred and the entire team at Black and Gold Productions. This show would not be happening without them, so thank them so much for the support. Also, you can check out blackandgoldhockey.com, where you can see all the great B&G writers putting out articles each and every day covering the Bruins, and the podcast network. Some amazing podcast shows available on the website as well, and wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Apple, Google, Spotify, all that. You can check those out there. So go to blackandgoldhockey.com and check out all the great work from the B&G team. Big thank you to them. Obviously, one last reminder about the links down in the description. Boston Bruins gear, NHL gear for any team, and NCAA college gear, all available using the 3 links down in the description. The top link is for the Bruins, second is for any NHL team, and the third is for college. So if you're looking for any of that, tons of different products available. Definitely check that out. But thank you guys so much again for watching. Really appreciate it. And we're getting really close to Boston Bruins hockey being back. Hope you guys get a chance to maybe check out the live streams of the Prospects Challenge this weekend. And if not, at least maybe check out the Twitter page for some highlights and whatnot. Would love to see can't wait to see some of these young guys in action. And preseason hockey is going to be here before you know it. I believe September 26th is the first preseason game for the Bruins. So that is less than 10 days away, just about a week away, a little more than a week. So super excited about that. And man, we are getting really close to hockey. So thank you guys again so much, and talk to you next week.